Now we would like to continue with session 4, turning creators into communities in Web3. First, we have the co-founder of Open, Jason Ma, who will be talking about turning creators into communities in Web3.
Konnichiwa. We're going to watch a trailer of a new NFT feature series that we're premiering on our platform Open with the producer and the writer of Love, Death, and Robots, the animated series on Netflix. The video's supposed to play? Supposed to play the video? There we go.
Is active. Requesting aid to Earth Central. Anyone listening? Anyone who hears this? You have. They're not what they see. They're not what they see. They're not what they feel. They're not what they feel. They're not what they see.
So what you just saw is a video trailer of an animated premium TV series that we're creating with the writer of Love, Death, and Robots, the #1 animated series on Netflix. But what you're about to see that's coming is going to be all financed through NFTs and Web3. And what I want to talk about today is how we're actually turning from a creator economy to a community economy where it's about no longer me, but it's about us, and how IP and communities can come together to communicate, entertain, and give the best of the best to the whole world, not through a middle layer or middleman, but through what we understand as an NFT or a smart contract. So I am the co-founder of a company called Open. We're a launch pad for IP and communities in Web3. And why Open and what does that mean? I'm going to get into that. But let's just go back to Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. So we understood today when Joy talked about Web 1 in Japan and the internet from Silicon Valley till now was about read. So you had Netscape, you had Yahoo, you had Google. You were able to get data in Web 1. Now in Web 2, you were able to receive data, but you were also able to write or publish, and that's where we had Facebook, we had YouTube, we had Twitter. Press a button with Uber, and a car comes to you. Press another button with DoorDash, and food comes to your door. So we were able to read and also write, but the reality was this, that in Web 2, we were not able to own, even though we were giving all that value to these tech giants who accrued all that value. In Web 3, it's really interesting, and this is why we're all here and why we're excited, is that you can actually now not just read and receive information, you don't just publish information, but you can now own information or own your data, the new oil. So looking back at the promise of the internet, in Web 2, we thought that it was going to be decentralized. We thought that it was going to empower all with this new internet age. But what happened was we created these new pyramids or these new technological giants called FANG. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Their total market cap, $7 trillion. Now, where does all that value go? It only goes to these companies where us, the users, the clients, the one that are giving the value to these major companies, these major tech giants, are not owning anything. And so what happens with Web 3 is that we're putting the power back into the hands of the people, where in Web 2, it's only for a few, and it created these new pharaohs, whether that was Mark Zuckerberg, whether that was Jeff Bezos, whether that was Jack Dorsey or Jack Ma. It only went to a few that owned all the value that we created for them, whereas in Web 3, it's decentralized. Web 2 is centralized. Web 3 is decentralized, where it's communal. Everyone owns what they own with the ideas that they have. So I come from the media, entertainment, and technology sector. My mission has been to bridge East and West through media, entertainment, and technology through stories and talent for 20 years. I've started 5 companies. I'm now on my 6th company, and this company is called Open. And what Open is trying to do is help empower the verbals, the Emmys, those that have ideas to own their ideas and be direct with their communities without a middle layer or without a middleman. How do we actually do that? So let's look at the creator economy right now. If you look at TikTok, it pays you 2 to 4 cents per 1,000 views per creator. So about 6 months ago, I was with a TikToker, and she said to me, Jason, I was signed to a major label. I got dropped after 3 years. She says, I have almost 250,000 fans to 500,000 fans, also on TikTok and Facebook and Twitter, and I don't know how to talk to them. I have a music video on TikTok that went 1 billion views. And she says, Jason, TikTok has not paid me even $1,000. I said, that's interesting. Because you see in Web 2, the value went to TikTok, it didn't go to the TikTok creator. YouTube takes 45%, Spotify 70%, Instagram 45%, Netflix 100%. Okay? So have any of you guys watched Squid Games? Who watched Squid Games here? Okay, if you watch Squid Games, it did $1 billion of subscription revenue for Netflix. The director of Squid Games only got paid $250,000 US. And he didn't own the IP of Squid Games at all, zero. The lead actress got paid less than $100,000. All that value went to Netflix, not to the IP creator who created Squid Game. So something really interesting happened in Web3, and a friend of mine, Blau, I know him just through text on Instagram, he is a DJ, and he said, you know what? I've been independent, and I got fans. Why don't I just release my next album as an NFT and try to get my community and my fan base to finance my music career versus trying to go to a traditional music label like Sony, Warner, Universal. So he made 33 exclusive NFT albums, and if you bought one of these albums, you would get exclusive utility. You would get a vinyl record CD, you would get access to his global touring, backstage passes, and all these other exclusive experiences and utility. He sold 33 of them in 24 hours, and guess how much he made? He made over 11 million US with no music label, no Spotify, no iTunes, direct to his community and his fan base. This right here is Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher's animated series. It's called Stoner Cats. If you're not familiar with it, it's an animated series much like The Simpsons or much like Rick and Morty. And Ashton Kutcher, this famous actor, said, you know what? I can sell this Simpsons potentially that could be worth $1 billion to Netflix, get a 7-figure check, but Netflix would own my IP 100%, and I would own nothing. He said, I'm looking at Bored Ape Yacht Club, I'm looking at Doodles, I'm looking at CryptoPunks. What if I just made 10,000 of these Stoner Cat cartoons into PFPs, like what Emmy did with Galverse, and just see what happens? So he does a Twitter space, he gets a website, mints 10,000 as NFTs with Solidity engineers, and he puts it on the internet on OpenSea, and it sells out in 30 minutes, and he makes $10.2 million US in Ethereum. After gas price is about 8 million, he fully produces the animated series, delivers it to his NFT community, and now as a community, they're deciding, do we even do a licensing deal with Netflix or Amazon or HBO? Do you see what I'm saying here? In this scenario, he owns the IP, not Netflix, not Amazon, not HBO. He owns it through his community together. So when I started looking at this, I started understanding that Web 2 and Web 3 are fundamentally completely different. You know, it's very interesting. The word user came from Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg started calling his users users. You know what we use the word user for in America? Drug addicts. People that take drugs, people that are addicted. The only other reference you use for user is when it comes to social media and drug addicts. Isn't that interesting? So what we're seeing right now in Web 2, it's very much about transaction. I give you content, you pay me for that content, advertisers give me a cut, and then we're done. In Web 3, it's not about that transaction, it's about ownership. So in Web 2, it's about me, selfie generation. In Web 3, it's about us. We're turning users into members, followers into investors, fans into collectors, and patrons into communities. So how do we actually unlock this community? It's no longer about this selfie generation, me, me, me. It's about a community generation, us, us, us. We're all gonna make it, WAGME. We're all gonna make anime, WAGMA. But as we know right now, the journey's fraught. A lot of people right now are scared because crypto's going down today. I'm checking my Coinbase every minute. Whether it's Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's a bloodbath. And we're seeing right now that there's scams. It's slow, it's expensive, It's environmentally unfriendly. How do we actually fix this? The users don't care about the blockchain. What they care about is a smooth experience that improves their lives. And that's what Facebook solved. That's what Netflix solved. That's what Uber solved. They solved the end user need. That's what we're building at Open. So this is the platform that we've been building for the last year. It's a super app for Web3 that puts all the needs and wants of a Web3 user first and funnels them into an easy-to-use chat interface. Here's a video to show you.
Turned digital, we've become more open than ever. With online communities that transcend earthly borders, the future of storytelling is on the web. The Open app brings you unparalleled access to immersive story experiences, gated by culturally relevant NFTs. This is worldwide entertainment with you at the center. Now, you can enjoy exclusive video, music, announcements, and invitations from communities across the globe. The time has come to embrace an open world.
So at Open, very much like WeChat or Facebook in the very beginning days of Web 2, you download the chat application because you want to be able to have a seamless experience to communicate and manage communities and relationships. Same thing what we're doing with Open. We're a Web3 super app. We're multi-chain, we're multi-wallet, and from chat and management of communities, you can get discovery, music, content, movies, e-commerce, Shopify, ticketing for events, community portal to manage, an actual marketplace where you can buy, sell, and trade NFTs, and XR, VR, AR experiences. So what we're doing right here is we're integrating some of the best features of successful Web2 platforms, NFT-gated in Web3 through decentralized IDs, blockchain-secure chat, NFT-gated access to content, and DAO tooling. So what I want to announce today here in Japan and Tokyo is that we're launching with Avalanche, one of the largest and most well-respected and well-known Layer 1 blockchains, what we call the Culture Catalyst Initiative. And how we're going to get Web 2 into Web 3 is going to happen through me, I believe, three things: movies, music, sports, and culture. So this is the Culture Catalyst Initiative. We and Avalanche are announcing a $100 million Culture Catalyst Initiative fund committed to finance NFT projects in culture and entertainment to build on Avalanche and launch exclusively on Open. So if you're a filmmaker like Verbal or Emmy or a major musician, we want to support you. If you're an athlete, if you're a game developer, if you're an artist, you're a designer, here in Japan or here in Asia, we want to give you capital to get your dreams alive in Web3. So our first project is with Grimes. She's Elon Musk's baby mother to his children, X and Y, potentially Z very, very soon. She wanted to make a metaverse book with us for her children, and she wanted to make it like Roblox on steroids. And she also wanted a music video, so we financed her project. We announced it in Barcelona, and this is how it actually works. So for anyone here today that you know of a IP in Japan, which is a land of IP, and you want to get it funded in Web3, what we do is we advance capital to you, say $1 million for that project, and it gets paid back in first position. So let's say we do the NFT drop, and it makes $10 million. We first, as a platform and Open, providing the technology, take 10%. That's $1 million off the waterfall, whereas Facebook or Amazon or Spotify take over 50 to 70%. We take 10. Second, we take $1 million back plus 10% interest back to Avalanche Foundation. And let's say there's $8 million left of net profit. We split that 50-50 with the artist. So $4 million to the artist, $4 million back to the fund. We keep investing in more projects, and the artist walks away. But here's the kicker. Let's say that the NFT project fails and it doesn't make $1 million, it only does $100,000. The artist doesn't owe us anything. This is very key. For us, this is not a loan, it's an advance to empower culture and more user adoption in Web3, and ultimately similar but different to Netflix or some of these other platforms in Web2, we're not paying you money and owning your IP, we are giving you money and you own the IP. That's the difference in Web3. So most important of all, you as a creator own the IP, not the fund, period. And I just want to thank you guys all very much for having me here in Japan. Arigatou gozaimasu. I know I talked a lot and very fast.
Jason, thank you very much. ありがとうございました。
Thank you.